Hello everyone, the unfamiliar shift is back. We are so excited that all of you are here today. I know it's been a while since we've had this show, but we hear you loud and clear. You want the unfamiliar shift back. I'm your host, Ariela Kiradjian. I'm the COO at BLLA and the co-founder of StayBoutique. I'm so excited that I am here with our guest star, Jay Roberts, who's the CEO of Domio. We'll introduce you to Jay in a minute. While we're waiting for everyone to get on, you know what I love doing? I love describing what is a boutique hotel since everyone wants to know. So let's get into it. First of all, this is a production by BLLA and StayBoutique. We are the family of organizations leading the global boutique hospitality community. So everyone, what is a boutique hotel? Put simply, you can't just define a boutique hotel. It's actually impossible. So we first have to dive into what the adjective boutique and what the adjective lifestyle means. Then we figure out what is the boutique lifestyle, and from there we can translate it into what is a boutique hotel. So let's get started. So what's the definition of boutique? It's a business that offers a curated service, product, or experience that is one of a kind. Typically, it has a defined and differentiating point of view and provides a memorable impression due to its distinct approach. Okay, so what's lifestyle? It is the distinguishing way one lives, including the style, attitudes, and possessions of an individual, group, or culture. So, what's the boutique lifestyle? It is the way in which someone who enjoys a boutique lifestyle wants a specialized, curated service, product, or experience that reflects their modern values and helps support their lifestyle ideals. This can be a business with cultural impact or category innovation, providing a unique sensorial experience or something that simply makes people's lives better. From environments to new-to-the-world products and services, the only bounds boutique knows are those of the imagination. Okay, so think of the boutique lifestyle, keep that in your head. So what is a boutique hotel? It's a hotel normally under 250 rooms that embraces all aspects of the boutique lifestyle. There you go. I know everyone's been asking. Our viewers here, you guys get this inside scoop. We'll be going official with this for the industry to make it an industry standard, as well with the traveler. So everyone knows what is boutique and more importantly, what is not, so that there's no more confusion. Quick overview, I know most of you know who we are. We're BLLA, the Boutique Lifestyle Leaders Association, been around for 11 years, run by my mom and I, Frances. I'm pretty sure everyone on here knows who she is. We're the official association for the world's boutique lifestyle leaders. We're the original hub supporting boutique and independent properties since 2009. And we're the community that values leadership, advocacy, and education for the global boutique hospitality space. Our new baby, StayBoutique. We're content curators. We live the best in boutique with our guides, our trends, our happenings for the traveler. We're collaboration connectors. We provide the community opportunities to be discovered. It's a discovery platform. And also, you know this, we're connoisseurs of cool. We create a hub for the daring pioneers and businesses in the boutique community. So, really quickly, how can you support us? First of all, just staying in boutique hotels, number one, of course. Maybe give us some social love, we'll give you some back. We do have a summit coming up on September 17th. It's the mixture of our boutique hotel investment and our boutique hotel leadership conferences combined into one. With Jay Roberts, 17JR17, we're giving you guys 24-hour promo code, 20% off tickets. It'll last 24 hours exactly from right now. Go to BLLAevents.com, click register, use that promo code, you'll get 20% off. And of course, if you can, become a member, help us out. We have a lot of initiatives, but we need your support. And you also get a ton of perks. So with that, I am so excited to introduce Jay Roberts, CEO of Domio. Domio has been in the news a lot lately. They've been pushing boundaries, making a lot of disruption. So we are so excited to have Jay on today. we're going to talk about everything residential boutique, one of the fastest growing sectors of the boutique hospitality space. So with that, here's Jay. Hey Jay, how you doing?
Doing great. Good morning to everyone on the West Coast, and afternoon to everyone in the Midwest and East Coast.
Lots of different time zones. Everyone, also just a reminder, why don't you come chat? Tell us, what's your favorite destination in Mexico? Hint, we'll be getting to that later. Put that in the chat, and if you have any questions, put it in the Q&A box or the chat box, please. So Jay, I want to get to this first. We have a lot of hoteliers in the audience today. Why did you want to become a hotelier? Why?
It was so I've traveled a lot, and being in the hospitality industry, we all have a passion for traveling and for exploring new cities and new cultures. And my desire to get into the hospitality business was really organic. I was traveling in business school and traveled over 20 countries. And I connected with so many interesting people who hosted me in their Airbnbs. I connected with different people in the cities that I traveled to. And so I like hosting people, and that was a strong desire for me in becoming a hotelier. And we'll get into why and how I started Domio. But all that all plays into my ventures into the hospitality business.
I see. And that does that partake in your love for real estate as well?
I have a passion for real estate. I have a passion for space, and for learning about spaces, and combine that with hospitality. And I wake up every day and I get to do what I love.
I love it. Okay, I want to know about your background. So before becoming a hotelier, what was your background?
So prior to starting Domio, I worked in investment banking. So I was in the real estate investment banking group at Bank of America Merrill Lynch. I did M&A, IPOs, capital markets transactions. While I was at the bank, we led MGM Growth Properties IPO. So we carved out the casino and the real estate assets, and we unlocked value because real estate trades at a higher valuation than the casino. I did M&A work for Starwood Capital globally, led financings for extended stay, raised capital for Digital Realty Trust, and did European M&A for them. Prior to that, I was in business school. I got a scholarship to study finance and real estate at NYU. And so I've been in New York for 7 years. I'm actually in our office today here in New York. And prior to that, I'm originally from Los Angeles, and I did real estate multifamily investment sales. Was on the #1 sales team in California, and went to university at UC Santa Barbara.
Okay, and you guys all know I'm out here in LA, but I've been living between both cities, so I feel ya. How's New York doing?
New York is great. Weather is good. Things are open back up. The restaurants are open. People are walking around wearing a mask. Thankfully to stop the spread, but New York it's back in business.
Oh, music to my ears. That makes me so happy. Okay, we don't have too much time, guys. I know a lot of you are used to the 1 hour 15 slot. We're going to try to keep it at 45 minutes because I know everyone is so busy. Okay, Jay, Domio has been in the news a lot. Give people the background. Why did you create Domio? What's your mission statement? Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so our mission statement is to connect the world through travel. And travel is a very special thing. It's everyone's right to be able to travel. And what I love about it is that it breaks down barriers, and it helps you understand other cultures, other perspectives, and especially in a time like now, it's really important for people to have that perspective and understand how other people live in other parts of the world. And so starting Domio was really organic. As I mentioned earlier, when I was in business school at NYU, I traveled to over 20 countries. I studied abroad in Hong Kong. And I stayed in some good Airbnbs, and I stayed in some pretty crappy Airbnbs when I was on the road. And many people today have had good experiences, and we know people and potentially yourselves have had bad experiences. I think Airbnb is a great platform, by the way. When I graduated in 2015, I went to work at the investment bank. and I started hosting my room out in Midtown Manhattan on 47th Street. And I was amazed at how many people from all over the world would book my room. And it was just a bed and a desk. And it was really quite rapid. And I noticed this trend on how consumers and travelers were willing to stay in new types of accommodations away from the traditional big box hotels. And so where I live was near Times Square, and Times Square is the second most visited place in the world. Central Park is third, and New York City, prior to COVID, had the highest hotel rates in the United States.
Wow.
So I said, I can likely make some money and host and meet some really interesting people if I open up another apartment here and host it out. So November 2015, I leased a 2-bedroom on 48th Street, and the rent was $3,400 a month. I made $10,500 in revenue in the first month, and it was very profitable, very successful. I'm a real estate person and finance nerd by heart, so making money was important. But what was more interesting is that I met really interesting people from all over the world, from China, from London, from Australia, from Mexico, from South Africa, and they all had really interesting stories, and they loved staying in my properties. And the feedback was that they said, Jay, this is very consistent. They said, this is exactly what you said it was going to be, and we love it. And it's not something that you always get on Airbnb, which can be a wild card experience. So I tucked that away. I was working at the bank. I used to run out in the middle of the day and carry people's luggage up and down the staircases. I used to change the sheets, fold the towels and laundry, and get everything.
You've been in every department, basically.
Oh, I wore every hat, in the early days. And fast forward to March 2016, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I opened another property in Manhattan, and that one was very profitable, very successful. And then again, the feedback was consistency, reliability is what the guests and the customers were looking for. So with my background in lodging, hospitality, the light bulb went off, and I said, brands are going to be the future of Airbnb and home sharing. And the same thing happened in the hospitality industry in the 20s and 30s, when the big brands that we all know, Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, Wyndham, all came in. They built these powerful global networks, and really they created consistency. And so I said, this is where the puck is going. This is where I want to be. And so at that point, my friends and colleagues at different finance firms, Blackstone, Carlyle, KKR, they all wanted to invest with me. They said, Jay, we'll back you. And so I raised a small amount of money in August 2016 and launched Domio with those 2 apartments, with the vision to build a global apartment hotel brand.
Wow. And where are you now with funding and expansion?
So we've raised over $100 million between equity and debt over the last 4 years. Wow. We recently just signed our first international property in Tulum. We have a big presence in Miami, Chicago, New Orleans, Austin, Texas, and we're continuing to grow and expand.
I love that. Well, first of all, congratulations. That's a huge accomplishment. I want to get into kind of going back into funding, just because it is the #1 question we get from new hoteliers. What was that process like?
It was, it was really quite interesting. And I would say, to those of you who are looking to or considering raising money in the future, and maybe you have, is to start small. Start with people who know you, people who trust you. And there's a reason that they call it a friends and family round when you raise. And so those are the people who know you the best. They're willing to take a chance on you. Maybe you have a good property, you have a good project, you have a good idea. And so start there. And really, I didn't, even though I was an investment banker, I did not have a lot of knowledge. Actually, I had zero knowledge of the venture capital world. And it was a complete learning process for myself. And it was a steep learning curve. But fortunately, had enough meetings, was told no enough times that it continued to improve my my presentation, and ultimately, you know, we've been successful. But every round is a process.
Yeah.
And what I tell the team and what I tell our employees is that, and this is specifically for venture capital and for private equity type investments, is that each round is a test. So when you raise your seed round, people give you a little bit of money. They say, well, all right, we'll trust you with $500,000, $100,000, $1 million, and here's a test. And so you need to prove out what you said you were going to do, hopefully outperform, and then you have another test, and people will give you a little bit more money, and they'll say, okay, now we trust you with this. You got to go out and execute. And the tests get a little bit harder each time, and you have to pass, and you have to up your game each time. But it's an incredible learning process. It's very rewarding when it works out. You know, there's definitely ups and downs in the fundraising process. But, you know, I would be happy to, you know, if anyone is looking to raise money, you know, I'd give you any feedback on how to go about it.
Well, thanks, Jay, for that advice. Yeah, it's something I think, especially when it gets hard, is like, you know, people are thinking of going to a bank, right? And the number one question they ask is, okay, what flag are you going to use? What brand are you going to? And when they say, I'm going to be independent, it just gets hard, which is why it's the number one question we get. So thank you for that. We do have a question from the audience, and they're interested, with your expansion, how are you selecting your locations?
Yes. So we're living in a COVID environment right now, and it was really a challenging time over the last 3 months for everyone, all of us in hospitality and travel and restaurants and retail stores. And so, you know, we had to adapt, right? And we had a strategy focused on urban markets, big cities. And now with COVID, really people have been cooped up in their homes. We see resorts and leisure markets coming back first. Our South Florida market is the best performing city in our market in our portfolio. So we have a strategy around leisure and resort markets. We have the map back here. The team, you know, we're reviewing which cities, which destinations we want to go to. We're staying away from places like New York City, San Francisco, and Seattle at the moment, and we're really focused on leisure and resort travel destinations.
I have a question. If before COVID, were you more focused on the business travel side, or what were you focused on before COVID?
So Domio's value proposition and really, you know, how we got started, and this aligns with our mission of connecting the world through travel, is that we offer larger spaces. So 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, where families and friends can come together and stay under one roof, and it's more cost effective than traditional hotels. And we're also building a brand where people can rely on their stay. It's consistent, well designed, and ultimately, prior to COVID, we were focused on expanding in apartment hotels. So that was our focus.
I see. Interesting. Okay, so I want to get your take, though, too, on, just because business travel has been a big topic as to what hotels are doing. What do you think is the future of business travel?
Business travel will come back. It will take some time. It will definitely take some time. People are working from anywhere right now. A lot of offices are closed. There's 3 people in our office today. Most people are working remotely and are distributed. So it's going to take some time for people to feel safe, for us to get a vaccine for COVID. But over time, that human connection is really, really important. I love doing Zoom calls, and I think one of the benefits coming of COVID is that people actually, rather than just doing a phone call, you do a video call and you see someone. But on the flip side of that, we're not meeting as many people in person, and in the hospitality business, people and relationships are everything. So in time, I would say 2021 is when things will start to normalize. I think, this is my opinion, I think the rest of 2020, people are really just waiting to see what's going to happen, hoping that the number of cases dies down. We get things under control like we have in New York City. And then 2021, people will get back out. And hopefully we have a vaccine by then.
Yes, I agree with that. Actually, I see that as well. Because you touched on human connection. Let's go back for a sec. So Domio is built on the idea that a unique hotel experience is driven by three things: technology, data, human connections. I want to walk through all three. So with technology, how is technology a driving force with Domio?
So we launched the Domio app in March. And
what is that?
So you can find it on iOS and in the App Store. It was really on guest-facing technology. And so we were working on this before COVID, and it's really accelerated across the board. But keyless entry, really humanless check-in, check-out. People don't want to see people. We have contactless delivery. We have ordering food, ordering additional cleanings, towels, all done through the app. So that's really important. The data that we collect and how we make decisions, all driven by technology. The cities that we're choosing and we're sourcing new properties, all data driven, all tech focused there. So that's what we've been focused on technology wise. There's a number of companies out there that are building internal PMSs. We think there's been 100 companies that have done that. So Domio today is really focused on guest facing, seamless technology.
That's very interesting, and you put that up in March. Great timing on that. Don't you think it's a pivot that many hotels are going to need to do very quickly if they haven't already, because everyone's going to expect it now?
Yeah, so absolutely, the big brands have done it to some extent. And at Domio, we did a deep dive last year, and there's 8 million independent hotel rooms worldwide.
Wow.
And so in our expansion, and especially outside of the US, which is a mature and advanced market, hoteliers, independents, boutiques are starving for technology. They don't have funding to invest and build their own technology and their services out there. So that's why a lot of them are reaching out to us to join our platform for the technology. And so we will also be white labeling our technology for those hoteliers.
Oh, wow. So have you started doing that now? The white labeling?
We have not started white labeling. That's a Q4 initiative. But right now we're focused on onboarding people onto the Domio platform. We're signing up to be Domio licensees and franchises.
I see. Awesome. Okay, so let's get into part 2, data. Now, how is data driving force for Domio?
Data drives decisions, good decision making. So we're tracking booking windows, we're tracking ADRs, we're tracking rates, we're tracking daily revenue. A positive sign for us. So every day we track revenue, we send out a report, and internally we send out reports to our investors. And just 3 days ago, we had an increase. Our daily bookings and revenue increased by 40%.
Wow.
It increased by another 25%. So people are traveling. People are getting out there and exploring. In terms of data, we're also looking at number of rooms in particular cities, what our market share could be. We're tracking just additional data that we track, for instance, and this also helps drive our technology decisions and our product roadmap. We found at our Wynwood property in Miami that 20% of the guests request an early check-in. So we built features into the app so people can easily and seamlessly request an early check-in.
That makes sense to me, yeah, because I think I've had this conversation so many times. It's like the whole how you check in, check out. It's always at 3, it's always at 11 the next day. I think that's completely changing. So it's interesting that you've seen that. I want to get into part 3, human connection, which is hospitality, a huge part of what hospitality is. Talk to me about human connection.
Really, for us, human connection, it starts with guests and people traveling together. And as I mentioned at the top of the video and the presentation here, is that our thesis is bringing people together, families and stay under one roof, not in separate hotel rooms. And you really get a better experience when you have a central location. When you're traveling, you go out, you explore together, you come back, you share a meal, you share stories. And so for us, that's really, really important. But also connecting with the guests. And so we train our team to make sure that we're personalizing the conversations. We know what their preferences are. And so, it's really, really important to bring that level of hospitality, because when people are traveling, they want to be taken care of. They want to feel special. But that being said, in a post-COVID world, or in a new normal, there's a little less human interactions. We're doing, for instance, cleanings on check-in and check-out. People don't want to interact with a lot of people right now, so we're respecting the health and safety and giving our guests space. We're here for them when they want them, but also we're not in their face either, and we're giving them this space.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like temporarily we really got to give space, but I think my personal take is that people are going to really, really want human interaction, because it's also kind of like you don't realize you miss something until it's gone. It's like for travel too. It's like, I literally can't go to Europe. We can't go to Europe. I never thought in my lifetime, like I'd say that. So I think I agree with you on your timeline too from before 2021. I think it'll start to pick up. That's very interesting. I also want to touch on a topic that our team has been talking about a lot, which is, I think it's time for a shift in going back to traditional hospitality and what hospitality is truly about, which is this human interaction, being hospitable, creating experiences, which I think sometimes gets lost today. How do you ensure that you keep that sense of traditional hospitality with Domio?
That's a good question, Ariela, because at Domio, we don't like to think of ourselves as traditional. We like to start with the guest experience and make sure that that's good. We actually think of ourselves as, and I think this would resonate with the guests in the audience here from the boutique hotel chain, but the anti-hotel chain. And so we think of ourselves as disruptors, but we also embrace the traditional hospitality world because they've paved the way. There's a certain way, there's a camaraderie, there's a fellowship in the hospitality world. So we're not saying we're better, we're just innovating and creating new experiences, new ways to do things, and we're trying to improve the guest experience for everyone. And we want to share that with the world. So we aren't thinking, oh hey, it was done this way forever, we want to go back to this, or this is how it needs to be done. There are some things that you like that the guests just always expect, and that you want to you don't need to change. So we do focus on those. We talk to our guests, we get feedback from them, what they liked about the experience, where we can improve. So we are a hospitality company through and through. It's in our DNA, it's in our heart. But what we think of ourselves as innovators and disrupting the status quo.
That's the definition of a boutique hotelier. There you go. No, it's true. It's very true. And I do agree that it is giant hotel chain. I think one of the ways that can define, going back to hospitality is customer service. I think is one of the things that gets lost these days. And it is something that someone expects. Oh, I had a question pop into my mind. I lost it a long time ago and it just came back. How does Domio foster loyalty? And the reason I'm asking is talking about big brands, You know, they're always about points, loyalty points this, loyalty points that, and that's how they reel in customers. But what would you say, how can you foster loyalty without loyalty points?
Creating a great experience for someone. So when someone is searching, they're going on a trip, it's a big decision for them, right? Like we're going to a new city. You know, we haven't been there before. Maybe we have. We're looking for somewhere to stay, to sleep, to shower, and so it's an important decision. And so at Domio, we want to make sure that from booking with us to the time they stay with us, when they stay with us, that they have a good experience, that it's affordable, it's cost effective for them, and they really enjoy their stay. So one, there's just the basics of providing them, you know, a good experience, clean, well designed, well located property. And the second is really what we've been talking about, is the human connection.
Yeah.
And catering to their needs, predicting what they may want, and building that person-to-person connection so that they feel, oh wow, they really care about Ariela, they care about me as a person, and that builds loyalty in our mind. And then for us as a growing company and a growing brand, we launched our rewards and loyalty program. And
I didn't know that.
So
that's cool.
everything is in the Domio app. And as we have more properties, more people stay, there's more choices. And as you grow the platform, you grow the network, it becomes more valuable for your guests and for your customers.
I love that. But also, you know what I'm noticing though too with Domio is what you said, and what you were starting with this is like, you were in the Airbnb world, and now you're like, I'm going to create a brand. I think one of the things we talk about is kind of creating this culture. And I think that's what you're doing with Domio. You're creating the Domio culture that people are really attracted to, which kind of leads me to an audience question, which was, can we go into your marketing for a sec? Does your marketing plan differ from that of a standard boutique hotel, do you think, because you're a bit different?
Where our marketing plan may differ, and I personally love boutique hotels. I've had a number of boutique hoteliers in my office, and especially this past year in 2019, and they said, Jay, I have this boutique hotel or this independent hotel, and it's tough for us to compete in like a place like New York City with these big brands. There's over 100,000 rooms. There's a lot of choices. And so what we offer at Domio is the opportunity to join a growing platform and marketing in a new way, in a different way. We're communicating with the customers we believe who are traveling, who want the type of spaces. So, but to give you some real data, I have an incredible chief commercial officer, Calvin Anderson, and we may chat about his background in recruiting and hiring a little bit later. But the team, so we manage marketing, we manage pricing on a daily basis, and we run it almost like a Wall Street day trading war room, where we're checking prices, we're checking where we are on the page, we're optimizing, making sure that our Expedia, booking, all of the scores are doing really well. And through COVID, we're actually achieving a 24-to-1 return on ad spend. So 24-to-1 return on ad spend, which is really just incredible.
Wow, no, that's huge. Well, okay, let's get into this. With Calvin, I brought that up while we were chatting before this. Okay, I think we've all seen this in the headlines with like talent acquisition. I think before COVID, it's definitely very different than after COVID. By the way, Amy Watts, I see your question. We'll get to it in a second. Guys, we have 10 minutes left here, so if you have any questions, please put it in the chat, in the Q&A box. Why? Because I get a transcript of it. So if we don't answer it, Jay can answer it, and we'll send everyone an email with that. But yeah, let's get into talent acquisition. With getting Calvin has a big background, RLH, Oyo, Duetto, so large hospitality background. Why'd you choose him?
Hyatt, Hilton.
Oh, wow.
So my first test when recruiting is I'm looking for excellent people. So really, really high performers who've achieved in their career. And you know it when you talk to them. If you have a really high bar, you're looking for the best. And so you don't want to settle for anyone who just applies. Last year we had 50,000 applications that came through and resumes that came through. So really have to sift through a lot of different backgrounds.
Yeah.
And another way that we recruit and look for great talent is through our network and through asking people that we trust in the industry who they like, right? And so there's people who've built up really good reputations. We want to go out and we want to talk to those people. And so that's a good way to fast track the process rather than having a cold resume come in. You look at the resume. Rather, we go out and we say, okay, this person works here, they work there, they work, and did they excel at each level? But why we brought Calvin in, and he's here in the office today.
Hey, Calvin.
Calvin is he's a leader. He's technology focused. He's data driven. He's a disruptor, but he understands hospitality. He's a rising star. He's done tremendous since he joined us. So we're very happy with him, and he came through a referral of the former chief revenue officer at Highgate. So those are some of our friends that, as you guys know, hotel managers here in New York City. I recently hired a CFO, and Jim Murhaw. He's really been great as well. And
does he come from hospitality?
He's traditional hospitality, and there's certain things like reporting, KPIs that are not going to change even if you are disrupting. There's certain ways. You're looking at ADR, you're looking at occupancy, you're looking at RevPAR, you're looking at GOP. And so from there, I wanted a real expert, an industry veteran. And so we went out and we recruited him. Jim was running finance, North American finance for Hilton, oversaw $9 billion in revenue across hundreds of Hilton managed hotels. So, and prior to that, he was the CFO of MGM Hospitality. And prior to that, he started his career at Marriott, and he's traveled globally. So we're looking for really great people. I am fortunate that these people want to join Domio. You know, my philosophy is hiring people who are smarter than me, who are specialists in their field, and then we work as a team to produce the best results.
I love that. And also something that you said that just saying something I've noticed with boutique hoteliers, I think you need that balance of like hiring that new talent of someone coming outside of hospitality. But I think a lot of people learn this the hard way. Our industry is different from many other industries. So I think hiring these industry veterans is a very, very smart move. That is just my point of view. This kind of leads us into Amy's question. So she has a question for you, Jay. She says, as a disruptor in the hotel industry and as payroll being the biggest hotel expense, how do you envision the future of staffing, specifically utilizing temporary staffing / task force as an alternative right now?
The benefit that Domio has and the advantage that we have over traditional hotels is that we started with a blank slate. So, and what I mean by that is we didn't say, this is how Marriott does it, this is how Hilton does it, it's how Wyndham, you know, we have to do it this way. And so because we're creating a new industry and we're disrupting, we said, we want to do it our way, right? We're going to do it our way. And so this is staffing. And so for us, we staff the properties so that the guests are taken care of, but we don't overstaff them. So in the current environment, the properties they do have reduced staff. We've brought some people back, but ultimately, you know, you need to take care of the staff. You need to be able to staff at appropriate levels. But you know, for us, we have people that we've hired, we've trained them, we love them. And so we bring them back as soon as we can, and as soon as there's enough demand and guests at the properties.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, we've all read the articles about people are moving out of hospitality. I'm in those Facebook groups and people saying, yeah, I had to leave the industry, and now they're and other industries are going to be taking our talent. So we need to be so strategic with it. I want to get to, I see 2 more questions. Tom has a question about health and safety. How do you promote that with your properties? And do you post information statuses on your app about your health and safety?
Yeah, so on the website, we do have information about health and safety. So we launched the Domio Difference, which is a cleaning program. So really making sure that the guests and our staff are safe. We have people wearing masks in all the common areas. We actually give out masks to help stop the spread. I was staying at our properties for 3 months, and working out of our properties, our staff are cleaning around the clock. So they're cleaning, making sure that we're disinfecting any of the chemicals that we are using or any of the cleaning products that weren't up to the CDC standards. The majority of them that we had before but we swapped them out, making sure we're using the highest and best so that we're killing the germs, as much as we can, enforcing good policies, social distancing, and so that's what we're focused on. The gyms, everything, the pools, common areas, and making sure we're really adhering to the safety protocols that the experts have put out there.
Amazing. That's great to hear. We're starting to get more and more questions coming in. We only have a few minutes here. Paula, you bring up a really good point, design, which I know we didn't really talk about yet. But she's asking, residential boutique offers an opportunity to think differently about design and the importance of infusing design with overall experience. What process do you work through to infuse the individual designs of Domio's properties with the Domio brand? Good question, Paula.
Paula, this is a great question, because as I mentioned earlier, we want, and as boutique hoteliers, we're the anti-hotel chain, right? Like we don't want to be the cookie cutter, I'm not going to name any names, the cookie cutter brands. You show up and, the same pen and like, pad of paper next to your, nightstand. So people today, they want experiences. They want something that's unique. They want to feel the city that they're in. And so how we think about Domio is as a soft brand. And we're not going to have the same exact lights in every single Domio, but we're going to have, to be able to scale globally, you need to have choices. But we have great designers in-house on our staff. We send them to the communities, the neighborhoods, to go feel the neighborhood, to connect with the local culture, and then we incorporate those into the design. There's certain elements that make it a Domio, but ultimately we incorporate local design. For instance, in our Wynwood property in Miami, Wynwood, if you've been there, it's very urban. There's culture. It's driven by art. There's tremendous energy in Wynwood, and it's very unique. So we partnered with the Museum of Graffiti in Wynwood, and as you know, there's a lot of graffiti and a lot of art. It's incorporated into the fabric of the community. And so 1, we gave money to charity. 2, we partnered with local artists. We created our own Domio Wynwood walls on the interior of our property. So that was just one way that we incorporated local design, local art into the property to give it an authentic feel.
I love that. And to all the viewers who are on here for the unfamiliarship of localization, we talked about that as well. And I think there's like this balance of expanding, but then expanding too quickly, where like you need to spend the time to understand the local culture. You can't open 10 billion properties a week and just expect to kind of like replicate it all over the world, which again, I won't name names either. I'm just saying that there's a lot of big brands that do that don't understand that boutique, it's specialized and it takes time to do right. So I love hearing that. Okay, we're getting some more. Shireen, I hear you about how are you handling fitness centers or offering fitness and workout options for people staying at your properties right now?
So at our apartment hotels, we have gyms,
Okay.
we have fitness, we have amenities,
Mhm.
and so you think about Domio combining more space. One of the shortfalls of traditional Airbnbs, their homes,
Mhm.
and they oftentimes don't have a gym. They don't have the amenities of a traditional hotel or even a boutique hotel. So we bring that in, more space, but also give people the amenities of a hotel, because people, I know I like to work out. My guests like to work out, stay fit, stay healthy. So we have gyms in our apartments.
Awesome. And then I know a lot of you might have to jump off. I did want to get to something that we didn't get to. And to all the hoteliers out there, I thought that this was really interesting. If you Google Jay Roberts, CEO of Domio, you'll see he has his own website. Okay, so why did you do that? What is the value of personal branding these days? And hello, Winnie, the little doggy in the corner. Talk to us about personal branding.
She says hi. Yeah, so in today's day and age, your personal brand is I don't want to say it's everything, because you have your companies, you have your properties, and everything else that combines with your personal brand. But for me, it's I have an interesting background. I was born in Korea, South Korea. My biological parents were too poor to raise me. And they put me into an orphanage, and I was very fortunate to be adopted by an American family when I was 4 months old. So I grew up in Southern California. My mother was a secretary. It was not easy. So for me, I wanted people to see the story that this isn't someone who had a silver spoon growing up. A lot of challenges, didn't have network, didn't have advantages that other people may have, and you can do it too. So if I can use my experience to inspire, help, motivate others out there, I want to do that. That's really the purpose of my website. And you can see there's motivational quotes and things that I believe in and use to help me in my everyday life.
I love that. And then to end this episode, let's continue this very motivational note. Can you give the global boutique community here words of inspiration to continue innovating?
Yeah, so it's been a very shitty time in hospitality recently. Right? I think we can all agree on that. It's been stressful. There's a lot of uncertainty, but travel always bounces back. Hospitality will for sure bounce back. The COVID will not hold down our industry. I know we mentioned people are leaving. We are resilient people. You are resilient people. Ultimately, we're going to come out of this. We're going to be stronger. We're going to learn. We're going to adapt. We're going to continue to serve the global travel community, and we're all going to be successful. So I wish you guys all much success. I know you will be successful. And Ariela, I really appreciate you bringing me on your show.
Oh my gosh, it's an honor. It's such an honor. I had so much fun with you. We got through a lot. I think there's a lot we didn't touch on, but again, maybe we'll have to do round 2 of this. Thank you, Jay, so much. And I agree. We're a community, right? Especially this sector of hospitality. We're a little bit different. I think we're more family focused, and we all care about each other. And that's what I love most about my job, is meeting people like you. So thank you for that. And we just have a few reminders for everyone. Support the boutique community by using the hashtag Boutique Strong. As Jay said, we are strong, we are resilient. We will be reposting people that use this hashtag just to show this support system that we all have together. We are an association, don't forget. We have conferences, we have membership programs. And even if you just want to say hello, like literally hello, please email info@blla.org. We would love that. And don't forget to use the promo code JR17, because it's July 17th, to get 20% off the conference. And with that, yeah, we're here, info@blla.org. If you have a question about the industry, you have a problem, whatever it is, we have a lot of free resources for everyone. Our website is BLLA.org. And if you want to call, 818-883-4363, we're here for you guys. And then next week, we'll have John Terzian, the co-owner of Hwood Group, you know, nice guy, Delilah, Mason, Bootsy Bellows. If you've been to LA, I know you've been to one of his places. We'll talk about all things about the restaurant world right now. And with that, we'll end the show. Everyone have a great weekend. And Jay, thank you so much for showing up today, giving your insights.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Take care. Have a great weekend, everyone.